What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Properties and Pour Overs podcast. My name is Adam Colburn, and today I have a very special guest, my buddy Will Yu. What's going on, bud?
What's up, brother? How are you?
Good, man.
I do this for a while now.
What?
I've been trying to book a time with you for a while now, man.
Man, it's been a minute. We've both been super busy, so.
I know, but I'm glad we got to do it in person, though.
100%, yeah. Here at Squad Up Summit here in Dallas, and it's been incredible. So, but yeah, man, I'm happy to have you on. Appreciate the time. And so, just to introduce you to the audience, can you tell me where you're located in the country and what does your business look like currently?
For sure. I'm originally from New York. I'm still jacking it. I don't care. I always start with that. But I live in the Tampa Bay now for the past 3 years. Right now, my current business, I'm a buy and hold investor. We don't do any flips and whatnot. And then my main business is that we're actually running a marketing agency for wholesalers nationwide.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. And so how long have you been in the real estate space, or I guess more specifically the marketing space?
Marketing space is right after, I would say, right now it's 25, so like after 2021.
Okay.
I got into the marketing space because I purchased a gym in Tampa. It's a kickboxing gym.
Yeah.
And we bought a gym launch for it. So it's Hermose's licensing program back in the day before it was super, super popular.
Right. Yeah, before he blew up.
Yeah, and then we used that program to basically scale the gym. So within that program, it taught me how to run advertisement to get new leads and new potential clients on a daily basis, and basically build out my sales process where it's predictable. And he has this thing called client finance acquisition. I'm pretty sure a lot of people that follow him know about this, but it's basically how can you get a person to pay you enough on the front end to keep fueling your marketing, so this way you never run out of gas.
Sure. Yeah. Keep the client flow coming from the other clients that you already have.
Yeah, exactly. And real estate, honestly, especially for wholesale real estate, the conversion cycle is a little bit way longer, but it's the same concept. One deal wipes out your whole 3 months
for sure
of marketing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. And so you've been doing that for a few years. How did you get into this space? Like, what did life look like before real estate, before the marketing, and obviously this gym too, right? So I think that was the kind of the transition period into real estate. But what did life look like before, I guess, entrepreneurship in general?
Dude, I came to the States when I was 7 years old.
Okay. Single
mom, super amazing lady.
Yeah.
And from a very young age, one of the most important things she ever gave me was the ability to do whatever I want.
Okay.
We weren't rich. She worked as a nail technician.
Okay.
For the first, she still forces herself to go to work, even though I tell her to chill out.
Right.
You know, it's like, how much money do I have to give you until you stop, right? But she's a hustler. And that kind of led me to wanting more, right?
Sure.
And the traditional 9 to 5 was just not going to be enough to retire her in the timeline that I wanted.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason why I started entrepreneurship, period.
To retire your mom?
To retire her as fast as possible.
Wow.
And I knew that 9 to 5 it's going to take way longer, and the only option was to start my own business.
Sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And I got into real estate right before COVID.
Okay.
So rates were super good.
Right.
I burned my first property without knowing what it was.
Yeah.
I bought it in the Tampa Bay area, and dude, it just freaking worked out.
Right.
I bought it for $340. After we renovated, it was appraised at like $575.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, and I just DSCR'd the loan.
Yeah.
Like, all these like creative strategies, right? But
sure.
like, back then, like, I didn't know any of these things.
Yeah.
I ended up like paying a lot more on like the loans and whatnot, just because I didn't know people.
Sure.
Ended up honestly getting effed over a little bit by like the prepayment penalty, so I lost a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
When I refied, and just the loan officer that was doing my thing, he was just honestly, he was living at Hard Rock every day. Yeah. So, dude, yeah, it wasn't like the best, but hindsight 2020.
Sure.
And then after the gym, I discovered I like marketing more. I've always been a kind of like a cold call salesperson.
Yeah.
I used to rip the dialer back in New York at tech companies. And I'm like, hey, this is a skill set where like I can sell one to many.
Right.
That's all what marketing really is. It's like, how can we leverage copywriting in a form of words to be able to attract a customer to want your stuff?
Right. Cast that wide net.
For sure.
Bring the clients to you.
Yeah.
Totally makes sense.
And dude, and kind of everything led back to real estate because you get paid a lot in real estate. And if
Yeah.
I'm going to follow my original path of entrepreneurship, of making money, I needed to be in real estate again.
For sure. I mean, I can't think of a better vehicle than real estate. I mean, it's
Sure.
so many multimillionaires, billionaires are made in this space or protect their money in this space. It's the cheat code.
Exactly.
I can't. Yeah.
Like I get to work with wholesalers, which they're the guys finding the deals, right?
Right.
And I get paid to work with them, and they bring me the deals
That you want to buy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
As of right now, I haven't been yet. I'm buying one finally,
Mm-hmm.
but it's hard because like when you're focused on one business, it's hard to like because real estate investment it's a whole business.
For
It's
sure.
not as easy as people think.
Well, and there's so many strategies, and the thing, like we constantly talk about shiny object syndrome, but the reason is because they all work.
Yeah.
There's too many ways to make money in real estate, and so you just can't do them all at once, right?
Sure.
You have to pick one, maybe two, get really good laser focused at those things, and then once you can automate those, then you can expand and add a new channel, a new income stream.
Sure.
But I feel like so many people getting started are like, oh, let me go do short-term rentals. Let me go do the BRRRR strategy. Let me go do sober living or co-living or fix and flips. And it's just like, you can never get traction because you're just running from one thing to the next thing and not really diving deep.
80-20 principle, right? 80%
Yeah.
of the people are information geeks.
Right.
They're never going to take action. And I'm sorry, like,
Yeah.
it is what it is, but
Right.
20% crush it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. And so, I mean, you're doing buy and holds in the Tampa area. You're
Right.
running your marketing. What is your big vision for the next 3 to 5 years? Is it scaling up the marketing agency to exit, building this into a certain dollar amount, like revenue model? Like, what's your big 3 to 5 year goal for that business?
I'm a lifestyle person.
Yeah.
I want to build my business where I can like be as neat as possible, travel. So I only take on a certain type of clientele.
Sure.
So the way I'm structuring it is to exit, but I don't want to work in a sense I need to exit.
Right.
Right. If I get presented a really good opportunity, and then at that point, if I don't need to sell, right,
Right.
I can leverage the price a lot better.
Yeah, of course.
Life, right. And right now it's cool. We have about 35 clients nationwide, and every single person I work with, like they're the chillest people ever because they're way higher level
Right.
and they've been doing deals. They just need a reliable inbound source.
Yeah. Well, they recognize the value that you're bringing to them because once you start out, right, you're looking for the quickest way to the deal, or how can I spend the least amount of money as possible so I can make the most amount of money as possible.
Yeah.
And then you're trying all these different lead generation tactics. But then when you get to a level where you're doing deals consistently, it's a volume game per se, but it's speed to lead, right? Or more speed to close deal. And if I can pay somebody that knows what they're doing to bring me highly motivated sellers that I can convert quicker, then that's worth its weight in gold to these operators. And it sounds like that's what you're aiming for, is you're really good at what you do.
Yep.
And so you want to work with people that are really good at what they do. And just, you both, like, the rising tide raises all boats, right?
For sure. So I tell a lot of people this because they say, why should I work with you, man?
Yeah.
I tell them straight up, like, dude, like, I'm just not gonna bullshit you.
Yeah.
The leads at the highest level, all marketing agencies, the leads they generate, you can only get so good.
Right.
I'm not gonna deliver you a lead that's gonna just sign away their home tomorrow.
Right, exactly.
It's just, that's not realistic. So
Yeah.
in the end of the day, if I can't provide you with more, in the end of the day, how can I get better clients that just can close better and faster?
Right.
That's the main thing.
Yeah,
Because-
I mean, there's no guarantee in this business with anything. You're not going to get a certified person to just say, "Hey, take my house."
no.
Right?
can't.
But like you can filter it to have a higher likelihood, and then now it's up to the operator and their skill set to close that deal or find a win-win solution. But if it's a newer person or somebody just kind of throwing spaghetti against the wall, they have improper expectations that, well, I just paid Will some money to generate me leads. Why am I not making money?
Yep.
Right? And it's like, well, you haven't put in the work. You're not ready
For
to
sure.
be spending this money, right? Because you're going to be disappointed with the results.
Yeah. But the beauty of what we do internally is because I am surrounded by a lot of investors. And
Sure.
I know, structuring I mean, you helped me structure a bunch of deals. That helped me stop the auction
Yeah.
recently too. I have a really great community
For sure.
where I have some people. So my rule of thumb is that if you haven't done at least a minimum of one deal per month for 3 months straight consecutively, you should not be going into inbound, because inbound marketing is just, you spend money every day.
Yeah.
And it takes about, sometimes, yeah, sure, you'll it takes you 30 days to
Sure.
get your first paycheck. But most of the time I tell people, give it 75 days, man, 70, 90 days, and kind of like evaluate your marketing channel based upon a quarterly basis.
For sure.
Right. But I have guys that I work with, and they're like, they're experienced with a outbound channel or direct to agent.
Sure.
But when they do direct to seller, it's a completely new ballgame, especially when people are opting to forums, they're talking to other people. You have to be a better negotiator.
Right. Well, and the speed to lead, I think, is so big. Like, if you're not on that phone within the first minute that lead comes in, they're talking to your competitor.
Yeah.
And so if you don't have the systems and processes in place to be on the ball as soon as that comes in, you're just throwing money to the wind.
For sure. And people that use this VA to call inbound leads,
right?
I don't recommend it, because in the end of the day, you want to build as much rapport as possible.
Yeah.
And they're going to hear that accent, and that is going to completely just ruin all type of rapport.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. Okay, awesome. Well, I mean, you've been doing this for quite some time, right? You've gotten to a level where you're only working with these high-level operators. But I'm sure when you were getting started, there were some challenges along the way, some bumps and bruises as you're building this business. Can you give me a specific example of like a challenge that you had to overcome and kind of the mindset that you had to get to overcome that issue?
For sure. I think the biggest challenge that I had was all self-inflicted.
Yeah.
I think a lot of problems in our own lives are all self-inflicted.
100%.
Just not knowing real estate at a high level is unethical to my clients, because in the end of the day, I'm just bullshitting them. Right. In the beginning, I didn't know how many, what's the population size associated to a certain lead cost.
Yeah.
I didn't know how many leads is to a novation contract, creative finance contract, or a cash contract.
Yeah.
Based upon the population and and your skill set, right?
Sure.
So now when a person come and just have that initial conversation with me, it's more of an audit. It's like, okay, how's your team looking like? Do you have salespeople? Are you taking the calls yourself? Are you using a CRM? Do you have like fancy AI chat that for the speed to lead aspect?
Right.
And based upon those things, I will tell you, okay, this is kind of what your budget is looking like if you want to make X amount of dollars.
Right.
Because inbound is nice because it's a very predictable machine.
Sure.
As long as like once the first quarter passes, you should know if $1 put in on day one, how many dollars does that turn into after that 90-day time frame?
Yeah.
You should be able to predict that. And if you want to make more money, you just have to increase the input to get more output. Most of the time at that point, for an operator, the biggest challenge is hiring. And just learning a new skill set. I was like, how can I expand my team? How can I hire better people, inspire, be a better leader?
Totally. Well, and speaking on team, what does your team look like?
I have a really lean team. I have one junior that's a full-time with me. He's based out in West Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, cool-ass guy. His name's Bryce. Don't steal my guy. And I have a couple of VAs overseas that does a lot of like the minute media work.
Yeah, the back ends.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Awesome. So if somebody is looking to jump into inbound marketing and they wanted to reach out to you, work with your team, like what's the best way to reach out to you and schedule a call?
If anybody that's watching your channel, they can directly just message me on Instagram. will.yus is my Instagram. And then if you want, you can go to reitransfer.com and just directly book a call with us there as well.
Beautiful. Yeah. Awesome. And so just to leave like some closing remarks with our listeners, if there was one piece of advice that you could give your younger self when you were first getting started in your entrepreneur journey, what would that piece of advice be?
Focus on one thing at a time with the most leverage.
Nice. Love it. Beautiful, bro. Yeah, man. Thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Of course, brother.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until the next episode, I'll catch you later. Peace.